Welcome back, everybody. It's the beginning of the end, going into the last hour of Roleplay, Nebula Jazz, episode number 17. We have a disappearing Aurora, and Aurora, we'll catch up with you shortly. But for now, the Bromand has passed, and it's the half frozen, half melted slime creature that is Eugene, and the shirtless muscle bros of Quinn and Rex down in the basement of Missy's. What's happening? What are y'all doing? Because she's realized that all of her hired goons have abandoned her for now, and she's cagily kind of holding the pickaxe and like waving it at everybody like a loaded gun. But she knows that she's sort of lost this
I
fight.
think it's a situation where like two huge shadows are just like cast over her from behind, and she realizes that we've surrounded her as a three.
Okay. So she looks around at the three of you and she's like, well, what are you gonna do? And like she's like obviously like skittish rodent. She's losing some of her sentience and is acting like a prey animal surrounded by predators.
You see like a close up of Rex's toothy grin, and he like clicks his neck and just starts like slowly walking towards her.
Yeah. And so she drops the pick and like puts her little hands up. She's like, "Wait, Rex, no, please, just," because she's seen what you can do, right? And she's like, "No, let me explain."
As she's like, and Rex is walking towards her, you just hear Eugene go, "Hey, It's like so much of him's been burned away.
Right.
And he like can't talk very well.
You just have like your face melting onto the floor.
Yeah.
Fucking David Cronenberg-esque fucking gelatinous mess. So everybody kind of looks over at you and then awkwardly back to each other. And she's got her hands up, Rex, and she's like, you have to understand that everything I did for love. And she like looks back at Eugene, and in the moment, you can see true misguided love sparkling in the eyes of this little furry idiot. That like, yes, she captured you, and yes, she tortured Eugene, but God damn it, it's because she loves that stupid slime so very, very much. And if anyone understands making mistakes of the heart, Rex, it's you, Le Freak. I would like to compel you to be merciful to this little fucker.
Oh, fuck. I was about to hop in with a compel, but you did it first.
Okay. Yeah.
So how does
Rex.
what does that look like? You see for a moment that like all her misguided foolishness comes from a desperation just to be with the one she loves.
Okay. Yeah, Rex, he gets like super close, and he just like squats down with his like forearms resting on his knees, and he looks and he goes, "So what do we do with you now?"
And she kind of ignores you now that you're not a threat. Like she turns and she looks at Eugene, and she's like, you see tears in her big Saturday morning cartoon eyes, and she's like, I just wanted to be, tough, like you like, Eugene. I wanted you to respect me. I built all of this, and she like gestures around because I thought it would get your attention. And again, you're like oh,
yeah,
God.
while she's like pleading her case, I've desperately just like put two like tendrils of slime on Rex's face, and I'm trying to like motion him like eating, like just fucking eat her, just
flopping
eat her.
on Rex's face. I imagine you to be like a big green version of like the 6-month mark of JP's subscriber badge, where you're like half solid and like half a big melty face, and you're hideous. It's terrifying, and you're trying to get Rex to eat her. And
I'm trying to like motion it because I know I can't communicate right now, so I'm just like fucking just eat her.
And she turns back to you, Rex, and she says, I used to think that I had everything, a house, a little fur ball, my own. And she's thinking of her husband. We see the little, like, in the background, kind of like Mufasa style, like her dumb husband. And she's like, and then this big hunk of slime walked into my life, and I knew I'd never known love until that very moment. And she looks back at you, and you're just, again, horrifying wall of death. Yeah. she says, she says, I just didn't know what else to do. You broke my heart, Eugene. And she, like, clutches her little furry chest. After that night that we shared, I just couldn't shake you. I tried to fill that void in my heart with drink, with power, with months of one night stands, every sentient on the planet. But none of them satisfied me the way you did. And she, like, picks up one of your tendrils and, like, rubs it against her face.
I like she's gonna take this sexual, but I like try to shove like slime into her mouth to like choke her.
You're really giving her the wrong signal here.
Just desperately to somebody kill her.
So this is horrible. It's framed really close up, right? Like, she's holding it, her whole face in the frame, and you just, like, jam a tentacle in her mouth, and we just see her eyes kind of roll back in, like, erotic bliss.
In like
No.
in like human terms, it's like just putting an index finger in like
It's
a
like
girl's
your
mouth.
arm
But I'm
in her
trying to like
Yes.
trying to just suffocate her.
She's so into it. She's just, like, kind of choking on it a little. There's, like, marsupial drool and the slime, and like, I think we cut over to Quinn. Quinn, what is your reaction to this horrific scene?
Quinn, like, does one of the, you know, the meme, like the blink, like that guy. He does that face, and like just turns around and walks out of the room, just like leaves and goes back up to the bar.
I mean, Rex, from where you're standing, it looks like Eugene has taken her back, right? This is the moment.
Rex's head like slowly turns to Quinn, and he sees Quinn just go, oh, and walk out. And then Rex like turns back, and he's like visibly disgusted that you'd do this in his presence, Eugene. And then he also just stands up and just like goes back upstairs with Quinn.
Okay, so I guess the last thing, so is you're trying to shout after Rex, like, no, I don't mean it that way, but you're still too, like, uncongealed. The last thing that we see of the scene in the basement is just we see Nina just, like, flopping around in a puddle of Eugene on the floor, like, just splashing around in you. As your friends leave you behind, and eventually you'll recongeal back into your original form. But for now, she's just gonna get to roll around in you. So that's good, and what have you. So meanwhile, upstairs, Quinn and Rex, you come out, and the hippo man has left. So the only person in the bar is the janitor guy. And he's just got a push broom, and he's pushing the last of the kind of rubble into his little trash robot friend. And he looks over at you, the two of you, and he says to you, Quinn, find what you were looking for?
Quinn just like nods, just does like a mm-hmm.
And he looks past you at Rex, because you said you were looking for a Sharkanoid, and he says, I got a mess to clean up down there.
Rex kind of like awkwardly, like, he's like, you should give it 20 minutes.
Right. We hear some like noise downstairs, some like, some high pitched, muffled, bubbling squeak, and like the rattling of chains. Maybe someone gets knocked over.
Quinn and like Rex do like a knowing chuckle, and I think should leave the bar to an 80s jingle tune, like just like, and they like walk out. Like, he's like, "Is there a mess down there?" Like, "Oh, you have no idea." And they just leave.
there's like a fucking grayscale like 2-piece mantis corpse, like a grilled gorilla man, horrified, and then just like this marsupial like weird congealed sex scene.
Yeah, swimming around in Eugene's body, Eugene's helpless body. Really, that's the greatest torture of all, isn't it, Eugene? The blowtorch was not, and yes, and the whole place stinks of like burnt garbage. Fantastic. Fantastic stuff. So I think then if you leave, the next scene, the sort of passage of time, would be Aurora. You find yourself there was a moment where you were in the alley on the planet, and then you felt the hand of the stranger on your shoulder, and then you blinked. And your vision was kind of blurry, and I think we see that. We see your sort of blurred vision as you blink it out, and it slowly clears. And you can hear somewhere a voice kind of crooning softly in the background. You can maybe hear some like jazz playing. You're in a beautifully appointed room, sitting on what appears to be a purple velvet couch. You can see a big heart-shaped bed that is currently still, but is built into a rotating platform. And there are everywhere these big like paintings, and like there's a statue. All the art in the room is of the same guy, this like really handsome looking dude with like a perfect like coif of hair. And yeah, you just like find yourself in this room, and you know right away that you're in space because you can see the wall is a big viewport out into space. You can see some Mingasi patrol ships floating around, and somewhere beyond, you can see the surface of Dead Man's Reef. But you appear to be alone in the room.
Wow, this is interesting. Is there okay. I tried. Is there a door?
Yeah, you stand up and you look around, and I think you see a robot. It's just like a waist up. It's attached to an armature that's built into the wall, and there's a bar, and the robot is like shaking a drink, and he's wearing a little like tuxedo jacket, and he has a bow tie painted onto his torso, featureless face, and he's just like shaking, and there's like 2 martini glasses on the counter. So you notice that when you stand up and look around, and then yeah, there's a door.
2 martini glasses.
Yeah.
I walk up to the bar then, and I look at the glasses, and I'm like, "Oh, are you making those for me?"
And he looks up at you, and he says, he doesn't say anything because you hear a faint, 3 note kind of like boom, 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 and then the hissing sound of a door opening as he pours the drinks, and I assume you turn to look, and at the door, you see in the flesh the subject of these paintings and statues. He's wearing a kind of mid-thigh length like dressing gown or like smoking jacket in purple with a tiger print edging. The gown is open a little bit at the chest, and he kind of like steps into the room, and he's got like silk like pajama pants on, and he says, just in time for a nightcap. And he looks you up and down, and he's like, you look like you've had a hell of a night, kitten. And he slides up to the bar and like picks up the martini and like hands it to you.
I grab the martini and I look at him. I'm like, so you have a guy working for you that can just like poof into anywhere he wants?
He says, oh, honey, the stranger is only the first of Jack's many tricks. And he takes a long sip of the martini.
Oh, your trick. So you're a magician too, huh? You like magic?
He laughs and he says, no, not magic, sweetheart. And he looks around and he says, magic didn't build this. Magic didn't build the Jacker fleet. That's all charisma. And he like points at his chest like,
I don't get it. How does charisma get you that doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, if you said like hard work, I'd understand, but Charisma. Okay, you know what? I'll take your. Can you teach me this charisma then? Because I swear I just have the worst trouble with that. Apparently, I mean, look at me. And then I like fit. I don't even sip. I just down the whole thing and put it down in front
Mhm.
of me.
He looks you up and down, and he says, "You do look a little rough around the edges." And he looks over, and one of the walls like clicks and opens, and there's just like this long row of like beautiful like dresses that just kind of slides out like the guns in the Matrix, just like slides out in front of you. And he says, "See anything you like?"
Do you have any with pants? Maybe something with pants. You know, maybe like not a dress. I just my ex partner just kept making me wear these silly dresses, and I was thinking I'd like to not associate with that sort of image anymore.
And he nods, and he says, "I can get you anything you want, Aurora." I'm sorry, I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself. And he puts out a hand. And you can tell that he expects that you recognize him because most people do. But obviously you don't. But he's like, "I'm Jack." Puts his hand out.
I put my hand out and I like very like I've seen this before. I can do this.
I know how humans do the
I know how to
thing.
do this, and I like just like grab. I like grab onto his hand like this, and I like don't know. Yeah. Hi. You know my name already. I'm Aurora. Yeah. And you obviously know about me. You're stranger dude. Yeah, he knew a lot about me. Had a photo of me. It's a little weird to be carrying around photos of other people. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
He says, "Well, see, here's how it is, kitten. You got a lot of people looking for you.
Yeah, I apparently.
Your old man, your Gramps, Pops calls me up. He says, 'Jack, buddy, I need you to find this lost bird.' I says to him, 'For you, Gramps, anything. But I wanted to talk to you first. See,'
Right.
and he looks you up and down. He's like, 'I think you're special.'"
I've been getting that a lot. And I know I'm a robot and that's weird, but that's not really special. You can find those everywhere. I mean, look at this guy mixing martinis. I could be doing that, but instead I'm running around falling into dirt and getting kidnapped by, weird men. So,
And he says, "Yeah." He's like, "No, no, you're not no robot. You're something else, something rare."
no, see, I've heard that too, and I just can't agree with you. So, what do you want? You're not going to take me back to Grandpa? Because that would be great. If we could talk this out, civilized, that'd be great. I don't want to go back there ever.
He nods. I think he says, "Going back to Alaxatron is going to just be a disservice for you. See, I'm a man who appreciates a good opportunity. And might be that I have an opportunity for you, Aurora.
Oh, okay. I'm listening.
I'm a man who likes to get things done."
You're
I
a
like
man
to
of a lot of things. Can I just? I'm just.
He nods and he's like, "That's right, baby." And he says, like you're proving his point. And you're like, "Yeah, and I am. I'm all kinds of man." He says, "I got a whole fleet of interesting individuals working for me. I was thinking maybe you could join me."
You want me to work for you?
He
And-
nods. We could find a place for you here in the Jacker fleet.
And what would I be jacking? I mean,
Oh, baby, you can jack anything you want.
see, I had a friend that jacked a lot, and he didn't really teach me anything. I sort of watched him, but I sort of let him do his own jacking by himself, But I was thinking, that might be a useful skill to have in the future, so that way I don't find myself pinned with strange men trying to kidnap me,
He nods and he says, "Here's the thing, kitten. There's two kinds of people in the universe: pursuers and the pursued. And you've been chased from one end of the universe to another. And I think it's time for you to do some chasing."
Ooh, now now we're talking. Yep.
And he says, that that lizard you've been traveling with, Quinn, he's good stuff. He's the right kind of people, baby. But you, I think you could be the best jacker this fleet ever saw. Queen of the jacker hackers. Don't you want to be a queen, baby?
You mean I can jack better than Quinn? I see now I don't believe it. I mean, it's gonna take years, isn't it? I don't know if I have that time. You said people are after me? I mean, to get that good at jacking, you gotta practice and you gotta learn from the best. And Quinn is one of the best, isn't he? That's what he said.
He says Quinn's got a talent, sure, but like I said, there's something special about you.
Okay. You know what? If you think I can jack better than him, then I say prove it. I mean, I'll prove it, I guess, but teach me and I'll prove it.
So he nods and he says there'll be a chance for you to prove your skills later, but stick with me. We're going to take that uncontrolled power of yours and we're going to make it into something special, but I need you to do something for me first.
Okay.
Quinn, can you remind me, you left the scepter with Jack, right?
They have it.
All right.
I didn't want to leave it with them, but they took it from me because
Yeah. All right.
they went
So,
to my ship.
He,
They also have Dave too.
it's true. They do. He takes from his smoking jacket the scepter, the Agaran scepter of ascension, which I don't remember the last time you saw it, but I think you're pretty sure that someone you know has it and not him.
Yeah. How'd you get that? You just pull that out anywhere? You just pull that, you're just gonna whip that out, just right here. You're just gonna how'd you get that? Did you teleport with that too? You're stealing now? I thought we didn't steal, I thought we jacked.
He says maybe a good jacker can have whatever they want. Listen, he holds it up in front of you, and he says, "You know what this thing is?"
I mean, it's a scepter.
He nods. He says, "But you've seen it before."
Yep, I've seen that before.
Well, hello, jacker hackers. We're back.
I jacked.
We're back from the
I'm
jack.
sorry.
Yeah,
You got
too much
jacked
jacking.
and
All right.
hacked.
So, coming back from that long pause. So you said, I've seen that before. He says, you wonder why everybody's after it.
I said that's the scepter, and I thought the last time I saw that was in Quinn's pants. Like, how did you reach in his pants?
He says, don't worry about where it came from. Worry about where it's going.
I mean, a jacker steals from you never steal from a jacker. Isn't that like a code?
He hands it to you. Like he just puts it out to give it to you.
I don't know where you want me to hide that. Have you seen me? I'm not exactly like this. I don't have a lot of area to hide that. My body, no.
Do you take it from him?
I look at it and I'm very skeptical. I'm like, oh, I don't know why you want me to hold this. Jack, Mr. Jack, I think you should, a lot of people are after this. That's what I know about this. And they're very angry people and they do very angry things. And I just think that you should keep it, And
he says, he's just holding at you, like looking intently at you. And he says, He says, "Listen, you want to be a jacker or you want to get jacked? Take the scepter."
You want? Okay. Fine. And I grab it.
Okay. All right. I got to compel for you. I'm going to compel your Elaxaturnian Synthomagus aspect. Your Synthomagi reacts with the Scepter of Ascension, and a significant effect occurs. When you put your hand on the scepter, we see for a moment the tip of the scepter open, as though the blossoming of a black flower, and a blue light emerges from within, bright enough that we cut out to Jack's giant head spaceship, and beams of blue light are just like firing out of its eyes. There's a pulse of energy that ripples out from it, and down on the planet, I think we get a scene of Rex and Quinn. Where did the two of you end up?
I think we literally just stood outside the entrance to the bar.
Okay, so you're outside the bar.
We're just waiting for them to finish.
Okay, all right. So yeah, you see up in the sky, you see a bright blue flash, and then boom, like the windows rattle, the Missy's sign like blinks and flickers. You both get a sudden like headache that passes quite quickly, as this pulse kind of like rushes over you. And then we cut out to like a much wider shot of kind of like the planet itself as this wave kind of passes out from the thing and goes out into the universe. And I think that for you, this moment, this bright flash, Aurora, you don't see what happens after yet. You're maybe knocked unconscious or something happens. But down on the planet, Rex and Quinn, when you see that, what do you do when that happens?
Do we recognize that as anything except for being strange?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you have like an aspect that would help you recognize such a thing. I think the two of you are kind of mundane for something like this.
I would
willing
like
to
to
hear.
use my stunt to consult the prince.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay. So you come out of your like migraine like brief spike, and when you blink, the kind of like tears at your eyes. Do sharkanoids cry? Can you?
No.
Can you?
No.
Cry? No. Okay. So your little nictating membrane like clicks to open and close your eyes, and then you look over and you see the prince, the sort of like hallucination of the prince, and he's like holding his head, and he looks up and he's like, "Whoa, that's not good."
What is it?
He shakes his head. I don't know. Something dangerous, something old. Power. And he looks at you and he says, "You're gonna have to bet my uncle felt that too."
Rex quickly spins around to Quinn and he's like, "Quinn, where's the scepter?"
Quinn is like, about that. Go
Okay.
on.
Yes.
He's
I mean,
like,
I feel like in saying that like about that would be the time where like because we all know what happened, we would like,
it would
cut
just be
away.
like
But
a white,
do you just tell him? Do you tell him the story? This is the fade out and then the reaction shot from Rex, right?
yeah, well, I would be like, we need to grab Eugene because this is a story I don't want to have to repeat twice. Like, we're in trouble.
Maybe that's the cut. Maybe we cut to the three of you somewhere like together.
Maybe like Nina
Quinn is
is
just, yeah, like,
like wrapped
about
up in the chains
Oh yeah.
that were
Okay.
around Rex before we've like chained her up.
I like the idea that we just left her. She's
No,
not with
she
us.
she killed Dwayne. She killed Pebble. No, we don't leave her to just like do whatever the fuck she wants.
Like, you to do you? She killed all these people, and then you like let her
And then
get
you
inside
chained her up.
you.
She might be into that shit.
Oh,
For all you know,
I
you're
was
leading
trying to
on
kill
again.
her. I was trying to kill her.
Oh.
you
I
guys.
mean, I mean, if you tell me, it doesn't even have to happen on screen. Eugene, what did you do? Nina was at your mercy, essentially. When your friends leave, did you just like strangle her to death? Or is she just gone? Like you just show up and like we'll never really know what happened to her. You can tell me in secret so I know, but like the other characters in the audience might just never see. She might just like
I want to say that like I'm like considering doing it, like I'm about to, and then the fucking shockwave happens,
right.
and it like messes with my composition enough that I like, regardless of whether I was melted or ice, I just become like the weirdest like liquid, like I just splat everywhere. Like
Right, you suddenly have no cohesion. You just turn to like a thin fluid and just
yeah, exactly.
He just coats all the walls.
Yeah, I'm like the weirdest.
Yeah,
metal.
Nina thinks it's just a sex thing that happens to you. Okay, cool. So the three of you plus Nina, I guess, are like somewhere, or what ends up happening?
She's
to
not
her?
with us.
Okay, but she's still around.
She
Alright, we
she had her fun with Eugene, and then she like grabbed her little marsupial purse and like snuck out the side door.
Okay.
To be continued.
Okay. All right. So she's still around. We just don't know where. Okay. All right. So where are the three of you where Quinn is explaining what happened about fighting the Commodore and dealing with all that?
I guess back inside.
Well, I mean that's the thing. Like would you go to this bar? Do you go like somewhere
Yeah.
else?
Rex just eats the janitor. He's like that. He's all that fighting and
We need this
torturing
room.
and being cold made us
We
super
need
hungry.
the room.
He
We
made
need the
that made
room.
us super
Munch.
hungry, and this guy's like just here. And if he leaves, we have this place to ourselves. I just eat. Rex just eats the janitor.
Sure, why not? Okay. So you're in Missy's, you're in the bar, and it's just like empty and quiet. And the three of you are sitting around a table.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So Rex, Quinn has just explained where the scepter is and kind of what happened since the last time you saw him.
I like the idea that we're like in one of the booths, and then in the booth next to it, with his back to me, is the prince, and he's like listening, just like chilling.
Right. Yeah. No one else can see him.
Yeah. What did you say?
Yeah, Quinn. So you finished. What's the last bit of the story? Like, what's the last thing that you say when we cut back to it?
It's me explaining that the Jack has the scepter. The Jacker Hacker, the number one guy. So pirates have it, which means it's probably not a good thing for any of us.
I didn't
But-
even know there was a guy named Jack, to be fair.
He's very important. But I think the thing that Quinn would make clear is that they would have no way of doing anything with the scepter. So whoever has it, whatever that was, if it's the scepter, there's something bigger going on here than just jackers and hackers.
You came here with Stranger, though, right? To do something else. Like, would you tell us about him?
I would assume he's gone. So, like, because he wasn't there at the fight. So I would assume whatever he went to go do, he did. I'll be real. I don't remember what he was supposed to do. What was his objective?
He was keeping tabs on you.
Yeah,
he
but
was
like-
Then he
keeping tabs on you.
conveniently left.
Right. Which I guess I would. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that guy was around because I don't know what the hell that thing is. But I would at least be like, where's Aurora?
Yeah. Rex explains that she escaped during the commotion when they were captured.
I think Quinn sort of puts two and two together that the Jazz Man and Aurora are both missing. And he's like, holy shit. They have her. They have Aurora. Do-do-do-do-do.
We better go get her back then. And that scepter too.
I don't know how we go about doing any of that, but I can't wait to see what Eugene's plan is.
Which ship did we come
Excuse
here
me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh my god. You guys are like, well, how do we get her? And Quinn's like, I've got a way. And it cuts to us in the hangar, and that pimp space car is still there. We've all got to fly in it.
It's true. You do still have the giant like Cadillac.
Where's
my
like
God.
Thuja and them? They're also on this planet somewhere.
Yeah, who gives a fuck right now? We have to.
Wouldn't they know though? Wouldn't they?
They
see
have
that?
a ship, Sam. That's why who gives a fuck?
Wouldn't
Yeah,
they
it's
just
true.
see that and go, "Oh my God, what's going on here?" 'Cause
Yeah, I
she's
mean
like,
everyone. It's fair to assume that everyone in the universe felt that weird pulse.
but she would know about it more, right? Wouldn't she?
Hard to say.
Or the half human lady she was with, the princess.
Yeah, maybe could ask her about it.
I mean, I can't ask her about it.
No, you got your own shit to worry about.
Yeah.
Is that,
I guess
is that Eugene's suggestion, Thuja?
I don't even know she's here. Have you told me about that?
Yeah, I don't know either.
Then I don't know she's here.
Rex isn't feeling Thuja right now, guys.
Yeah, things are weird
That
for those
doesn't
two
fucking
right now. They're a little,
Things
they're
are
a little
fucking weird
awkward.
right now, okay?
Yeah, they're kind of weird. It's complicated.
You know
so-
who you are feeling though? The princess. And she's
That's
with
true.
Thuja.
Yeah, but the princess comes with baggage, which is Thuja. I don't want to deal with that shit
I
right
was
now.
just- I was just thinking that, Thuja
Okay.
like is the one who's been looking for this fucking thing, and maybe she knows some shit and would like fucking help us
Oh my
out,
God.
but that's fine.
Thuja, the princess, and Rex are that awful stock photo meme of Rex looking at the princess and Thuja looking at Rex like, and then later Rex is sad at the restaurant and Thuja and the princess are friends. It's that exact meme right now. It's happening. We're living that meme. Good stuff.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
I would
can't
like
believe-
to
I can't believe you did
go
that
find the
to this
prince.
show.
I'd like to his
go on.
Lafreak.
So the thing about the thing about compels, I guess you can use your point if you want to, Aurora. So Lafreak we establish as being like
Oh, is it more like
it's about love them and leave them, right? Not like family or like long-term relationships. It's just about like boning down with hot space ladies. It's the Captain Kirk impulse,
yeah,
right?
but doesn't he have like a hot space lady crush on Princess?
That's different though.
Like,
He's
he's
like in
in love
love
with
with her.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
he
that's
established that
like
he's in love with her.
Yeah.
That doesn't even apply.
yeah. He wants to give up being Lafreak for her, but he's very confused and upset about that. It's
So if he's a daring outlaw, wouldn't a daring outlaw want to get to the bottom of this? And if Thuja and Princess know the most about this thing and they think that I'm somehow now a part of it, wouldn't they want to get information from them to know what they're going into?
I mean, I think the daring outlaw thing to do would be go steal a spaceship, fly up there, kill a bunch of guys, and save you by himself. But
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to get at with
Okay.
this group.
Okay.
that's the hero. That's the
Trying to bring
swashbuckling
my
hero.
ex-girlfriend
thing,
into
right?
this, everybody. Okay.
Listen, no, we're trying to bring two story characters that know about this and have knowledges.
That's
Oh.
fine.
Rex squeezes into the pimp car next to Quinn, who noticeably takes up 80% of the car, and is like, oh, it's a bit tight, isn't it?
All right, I'll get in.
Yeah.
Just slide into the back. Okay. All right. So you get in the car and get ready to fly off to
Quinn
wherever.
crams in and like mashes everyone.
Just the door. Aurora,
Yes.
you're standing in a hallway. It's like a long, kind of plain looking hall. The floor is alternating tiles of a kind of off-white and green in a sort of checkerboard pattern. There's lots of doors on either side of the hall, just kind of like particle board doors. The ceiling is that like office ceiling foam stuff, and there are fluorescent lights that run down the hallway. The lights are off, and one of the doors down the hallway, there's light coming out into the hall from it.
I think as I sort of come to, I open my eyes. And I just look straight up at it and just calmly start walking towards it.
Okay. You're wearing your usual clothes. You're wearing like your red jacket and your outfit. And yeah, you see your reflection in the windows of the rooms you go by. And when you look, like these rooms have little glass windows in the doors. And looking out them, you don't see rooms. You just see like space. You see like star fields. Maybe one of them you look through, you see a planet like off in the distance. And yeah, you're just like walking slowly down this hallway. And I think that as you get closer to the room that the light is coming out of, you can hear someone like humming or like singing quietly. Like no, not
familiar?
like wordlessly. Yes, it's like intensely familiar. You know, you can't remember ever having heard it before. You can't place it, but
Mhm.
it's like a very calming sound, and it's super familiar to you. You get this sense of having heard it before as soon as you hear it.
My heartbeat picks up, but I still try to like keep myself calm as I get closer to the room that this person's in. And as I get to the door, I sort of put my hand on it and pause and just listen. And then like slowly, very slowly push it open and look inside.
Okay. So this room, it has a single bed. It has a window. The window's open a little bit. You can feel a cold breeze blowing the curtains a little. The bed, there's a woman in the bed, and she looks like you, right? Like we see your reflection in the little window on the door, and then you push the door open, and then we can see her, and we get that clear. Obviously, you're related to this woman or something. She's older. And yeah, and she's lying in the bed. She's propped up, and she's like singing to like a baby. She has a little baby in her arms, and she's like, yeah, singing to this baby, and yeah, the smell of like cut grass from the lawn outside is like drifting into the room, and the sound of her singing, and like just the look of her and this place, everything feels like incredibly familiar.
I think as I stand there, I just stare at the woman, and I stare at her, and I stare at her, and it feels like so long goes by, and then finally you see water start to well up in my eyes, and I just whisper, "Mom?"
The woman looks up, but not at you. Like she heard a noise or something. Like she's not startled, but she looks up and looks around. And then the baby starts to make that kind of pre-crying noise, like she's like kind of upset, like gurgling, and she like shushes her and like bounces her a little bit in her arms, and like turns back to her, and she says, she's like, there, Aurora, it's okay, and like kind of like holds the baby until the baby stops crying, and she says, we don't have a lot of time left. And kind of like looks sadly at the baby, but she doesn't seem to notice you, or like you're not really in the room. Like it's hard to, yeah. She didn't notice you when you said anything.
I like press both my hands and get as close as I can to her. I'm just like, Mom, you have to get out. Mom, you can't be here. You gotta, no, just run. And I'm like screaming at the
yeah. So you hear, I think you like shout at her, and you kind of run out of breath, and you hear footsteps in the hallway. Like someone's coming, and they're familiar. The footsteps and the faint rustling of like polyester trousers, and maybe like the click of the end of a cane on the floor. You immediately like recognize that sound.
I turn around.
Yeah, and at the door, you see the form that Saber used to like talk to you, right? You see his like grandpa hologram form, but he looks somehow like more real now, like more in place. And he walks in the room, and he looks at the woman in the bed, and he says it's time. and she looks down at you with tears in her eyes, and she says quietly, she's like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to get to see you grow up, Aurora, but they promised me you're going to be safe.
And that when she says that, I just yelled, "No, they're lying. He's lying to you. No, you have to run." And I just start beating on the glass again. I start like just screaming to the voice, like screaming to the point my voice gives out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like no noise is leaving, and it's just I start panting heavily, and I'm like trying to catch my breath. Just you have to run. You don't trust him. He's a terrible. No, he's lying.
And she says to you, to the baby version of you, she's like, they said that you're special. That's why they have to save you. I'm sorry, sweetheart. And she gives the baby, she gives you to Saber, who, when you look up, you can see that his eyes are like black, basically black spheres with kind of little like blue computer like bits kind of like crawling around on them. And so she hands the baby to Saber, and Saber doesn't say anything, doesn't like thank her or whatever, but he turns to look at the window, and you can see like the lawn outside, and then he holds the baby to his chest, and we can see him start to break apart in little like cubes of light as he sort of teleports away. And there's a bright light that grows outside, and you can see the light reflected in the tiered surface of your mother's eyes, and then you're
As the light
outside.
starts to grow.
Yes, sorry, as it gets brighter. What? Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, as the light starts to grow, that's when I start slamming myself into the glass.
Right, you're like trying to break the glass, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden we see you again, but you're floating. You're like out in space, and you see the Earth, and above it there's one of those golden ivory Baroque like warships. Basically, you've seen these before. It's a Mingasi warship. It's floating over the Earth, and there's a bright light glowing underneath it, and then a beam of light lances out, goes right through the Earth, and the Earth just blows up. Brilliant flash of light, and then we cut to the bridge of the Mingasi Imperium. We can see the Duke standing on the bridge of the ship, and he's looking out at the expanding rubble field of the Earth, and he turns over his shoulder to the one of his advisors, and the advisor, he says, he's like, the Emperor is not going to be pleased. And the Duke sneers, and he says, "Let me deal with the Emperor." And he looks back at the rebel field, and he's like, "Good riddance." And he says, "Take us back to the Imperium." And he storms off, and his cape sort of squishes on the ground. And you can see he's followed by his two like Agaran bodyguards. And you can see on their faces, like both of them have this like burning anger at having witnessed this thing, like just this absolute hate for what just happened, and they follow him out, and that's when we cut back to the ship, Jack's ship, and you're sitting on the couch, and Jack is looking concerned and interested and kind of excited. He's looking at you, and you kind of blink and like come back to consciousness, and he's smiling, and he says to you, he's like, ha, good, you're still alive. Whew, hot damn, that was something. What did you see? And he leans in, and you get to close the episode out for us, Aurora. What's the look on Aurora's face when you're conscious? What do you see?
The look on my face when I finally come to is just like, there's like, you see the tears rolling down her eyes from like, it was just so real to her. It's like she was there. And when she comes to, it's just this mirroring the Duke's people. It's just this burning anger, just pure anger. And she just says, "I see who I need to kill." And then that's all she says.
Okay. All right, cool.
raw human anger.
Yes, angry Aurora, you have emotions now. Cool. All right, so we'll cut to credits there, and maybe Aurora doesn't need so much rescuing after all. See what happens. Things are coming to a head here on Nebula Jazz. Let's do some shout outs and we'll close out the episode. Why don't you start us off, Pocket?
Oh, my name's Pocket, and I'm an innocent girl, robot girl in Nebula Jazz, and I stream on twitch.tv/Pocket, Pokket, every day but Monday, because Monday's my day off, and love if you tune in for cosplay or video games, whatever I end up doing. I am a variety streamer, so I love being on this show and look forward to the future of it. So thank you for having me on again. That's it. It's been a little emotional today, okay? So.
Good stuff. Thanks, Pocket. Jesse, why don't you go next?
Hi, I'm Jesse from the internet. All my information's on your screen. I want to talk to you today about Death Note. Guys, I swear to God, there's a scene where a girl walks up to him and says, "Hey, what are you looking at?" And he's like, "Nothing." She's like, "Okay, you don't have to tell me." He's like, "You want to know?" And then he immediately tells her what it is. That is in the first 5 minutes of this movie, y'all. The first 5 minutes of this movie, it is terrible. It is a terrible film. I can't get over how bad it is.
You know, people
That's
are going
all
to
I wanna
watch it
say.
now. You're just going to make more people go watch it just to see how bad it is.
That's fine as long as they're rated negatively. If you can be the most lowest rated thing on Netflix, that'd be amazing.
It rates by your personal taste, so it's never gonna be rated low if you're a
It's
weeb
true.
junkie.
It's true.
I expect weeb junkies to destroy this movie.
Well, I mean, let's
Do your duty, weeb junkies.
I was gonna say, let's get a shout
Don't
out from
worry.
our favorite weeb junkie, Dottie.
Sam stripping.
I mean, either one.
Sam's looking
Hi.
disgust.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dodger, aka Eugene, and I've done nothing wrong. You can find me at twitch.tv/DexBonus. I'm DexBonus on pretty much everything except YouTube. On YouTube, I'm PressHeart2Continue. And I spent most of this episode half frozen. So that's a first for me. And yeah, I love when something weird happens to Eugene's body and everybody in chat is like, I love slimes. It warms my heart. It warms my cold, dead slime heart. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching and for supporting all of us. We appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least, compellingly heroic. It's Sam Strippin.
Yo, my name's Sam. I go with Strippin. You can find me on twitch.tv/Strippin. I play video games. I've been playing a ton of Absolver this week. I'm going to start an XCOM 2 playthrough either tonight or tomorrow, which will be fun because I'm terrible. And you can hit me up on Twitter at Strippin. Good shit.
Excellent. Thanks, Sam. My name is Adam, and I'm back from Japan. You can find me right here running this action and Court of Swords, which I'm super excited to get back to, and over at twitch.tv/Adam Coble, where I play video games and talk about role-playing games and do GM prep for the shows. So you can find me over there or at Twitter, Skinny Ghost. A couple of things. The Q&A for this week's episode is live over at community.itmejp.com. I'll post that link in chat and I'll tweet it out when we're done. And also, we are going to be doing a live show of the Nebula Jazz right quick.
Yay!
In just a few weeks, we'll be doing live Nebula Jazz, so that should be super fun and wacky. And at said live show, we're going to be signing a bunch of the new Nebula Jazz posters. So if you want to get your hands on a signed poster, go and check out the Patreon, the Roleplay Patreon, patreon.com/roleplay. And you can find it there. We've also got a new Nebula Jazz-based animation. It's real sexy. There's a pink wombat involved.
No,
God damn
so
it.
you'll
no.
get to see that right quick too. Lots of cool stuff going on. And yeah, we'll be back I think next with Court of Swords. Make sure you check the events page if you want to watch Court of Swords. I think we're moving it forward by a couple of hours, so don't miss it. Make sure you are prepared for that. I will see you there, everyone. That's it for us. This has been episode 17 of Roleplay Nebula Jazz. See you next time, everybody.
Bye bye.
Later.